Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Minecraft pixel art tutorial, and it's going to be of Harley Quinn from the upcoming movie Suicide Squad. Now, there's going to be a little bit of changes into my current tutorials and my future tutorials, and I'll get into that in a probably video that should be uploaded right next to this. So just to keep in mind, there's going to be very little explanation about what I'm doing in all the parts, just to minimize on time, because a lot of people find it very annoying that I have to go and explain every single thing for the new people, but I will be doing a little more explanation at the beginning and all the terms and whatnot, but not as much as I used to do. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not in my original skin, well, that's because, I don't know, Minecraft and Xbox or something about the Marvel Avengers and whatnot skin. It's not apparently it's no longer available for me or for other people as well. So I'm stuck with Master Chief. Now let's jump right into this tutorial. First things first, you got to check for a height limit. If you don't know what a height limit is, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to make this pixel art. And if you do run into a height limit, please pay attention to what I'm saying. If you do run into a height limit, in other words, you can't build any more upwards, then just build a pixel art on the ground, because it's going to fit if you place everything on the ground if you can't build it upwards. Alright, so now we're going to get into the blocks you're going to be needing for this pixel art. Now, this is very important that you lay it down. I know some people don't like laying down the blocks, but you're going to have to do it for this part, because the amount of space we need is absolutely everything. Not just these 3 rows, but these 4 rows. All of these blocks here, all of these empty spaces. So we're going to be doing a little something. So for every part that is going to get uploaded, we're not going to be having all of these in our inventory. We're only going to be having a few set blocks, because it'll be confusing and such a hassle just to move every single block around, just because we need it, and we also need some room for our placement block. So the blocks that you'll need are as followed. Like I said, make sure to lay them on the ground just to be safe, and you know which type of blocks you'll be needing when you come back to the next part. So the blocks are the block of coal, the black wool, the gray wool, the cyan stained clay, the stone block, the light gray wool, the white wool, the snow block, the N stone, a sand block, the birch plank, oak plank, jungle plank, spruce plank, the oak wood, just the tree wood, and the spruce wood, the brown stained clay, the orange stained clay, I believe this is the jack-o'-lantern we're using, so make sure you have the pumpkin can work, but jack-o'-lantern, I like it because it lights up. We have here the yellow stained clay, the yellow wool, the gold block, the pink wool, the pink stained clay, the red wool, the netherrack, the nether brick, the obsidian block, the blue wool, the lapis block, the cyan wool, the light blue wool, the packed ice, not regular ice, but packed ice, not the ice that you can see. You can see, if I'm looking right here, we're looking at the ice block, we're not seeing the grass that's behind it. This is called packed ice. In other words, you're not able to see it. Don't choose regular ice, because then you'll be able to see through that. So again, that's packed ice. This is the magenta wool, the purple wool, and the blue stained clay. So now I'm going to fly back so you can see all of these blocks. Here we go, fly back. And you can go ahead and pause video now if you need to, just to compare. And I know for some of you, you're probably not going to have all of these different type of blocks in your Minecraft version, whatever you're using, because I know Minecraft isn't just specifically set to one console or one PC. It's on pretty much everything nowadays. So if you don't have all these different type of blocks, don't worry, just try to use substitutes. In other words, I know some people don't have the block of coal. That's fine. Just whenever I say block of coal, just use the black wool again. It's not going to be that much of a difference. So in other words, just use black. Okay. So now that we've got that, we're going to fly over there to the center block. In other words, what this is, just find a nice large area. Nice large area in your Minecraft world, because if you're new to my pixel art tutorials, this is going to be a large pixel art, so we're going to need a lot of room, mainly just width, size, and height. Nothing really in front of it or the back. Okay, so we're going to start off by finding a nice area. You're going to switch over to the black wool, and you're going to go ahead and put a black wool in the middle of that large area that you found in your Minecraft world. So we're going to call this the center block. Now we're going to start on the right side of this center block, and we're going to be switching over to a placement block, so we're going to be needing that. So we're We're going to start on the right side of the center block on top of this grass block. Now we're going to count the grass block. We're not going to count the black wall, so don't count the black wall. We never count the center block. So starting from here, this is going to be 1. The grass block is number 1. And we're going to count all the way up to the number 92. We're going to count the grass blocks, and once we reach the grass block that is 92, don't do that just yet. If you started, just stop and start counting over. Just let me finish. We're going to break the grass block that is 92, and you're going to go ahead and put a placement block in its place. In other words, it's the bookshelf. I'll go ahead and explain what the bookshelf, aka the placement block, is needed for if you're new. So go ahead and pause the video now if you need to. Well, actually, you do need to. Go ahead and pause the video, and starting on the right side of the center block, we're going to count 92 grass blocks going to the right. Let's go ahead and pause it and do that now. And of course, when you do reach the grass block that is 92, you're going to break the grass block, and you're going to go ahead and put a placement block, because that's very important at the beginning of all those parts. So now we're going to fly all the way back to the center block. Let's head back over here. Now, starting on the left side of the black wall, starting on top of this grass block, we're pretty much going to do the exact same thing we did over there on the right. This time we're going to go on the left, so in other words, starting on the left side, so on top of this grass block is going to be 1. We're going to count all the way up to the number 92. Now, I do recommend using different type of blocks. In other words, say if you had like one set of block, you could place 10 of them, and then switch over to the other one, place 10, and switch over to the other one, place 10. Just to count, and that way you don't miscount while you're going over there. So, again, do the same thing, going over there to the left. Once you reach the grass block that is 92, you're going to break that grass block, and you're going to go ahead and put a placement block there in its place. So I'll fly back a bit so you can see that everything should look exactly like this. Now, it doesn't hurt to double check that you did in fact go 92 to the right and 92 to the left. It's 92. Okay. Now that we've done that, we're going to start off with the black wall. So let's go ahead and go on with the black wall. Now, we're going to start from the left side. The left, not the left side, but the left placement block that's on the left side of the center block. Don't get rid of the center block just yet. You're going to keep everything. So, starting on top of this, all we're going to be doing, just to make this go a little easier, we're going to switch over to a placement block. Starting on top of the placement block right there, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now, of course, the placement blocks aren't going to stay there forever. We're just using that as placements, just placeholders, essentially. So now that we have the 3 placement blocks going across to the right, that, again, started on top of that placement block there, we're going to switch over to the black wall. We're going to start on the right side of the placement block. We're going to be adding 2 black walls going up. So that's 1, 2. Let's get rid of those placements now. Now, starting from the top block of these 2, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going up on the left. That's 1, 2, 3. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing 2 sets of 2s going up on the left. So that's 1, 2, 1 and 1, 2, 2. And it should look exactly like this. Now, if you're 100% new to my tutorials, I'll go ahead and explain what the sets and the terms I use quickly, but not right now. And just give me another minute, because this should be easy. So if you didn't understand what 2 sets of 2s means, just do everything that I just did right here. That's 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, go ahead and pause the video now if you need to, just to compare. And again, I should emphasize that if the video is going too fast for you, if the tutorial is going a little too fast for you, make sure to hit that pause button so you don't fall behind. You do not want to play the catch-up game, especially when this is going to take several parts. Alright, so now that we've got that, we're going to be switching over to the placement block. Now, I do want to point something out. You can see that these 2 black walls, the last 2 that we placed, are perfectly aligned with this. You don't have to do this, I'm just showing you right now. You can see that it's perfectly aligned with the placement block that we put on the ground, so just make sure it's perfectly aligned, like so. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is just putting a placement block on top of the 2 black walls here. Just go ahead and put 1 placement block there. Once you've done that, we're going to be switching back over to the black wall, starting on top of the placement block. So from there, we're going to be placing 3 black walls going to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3. And it should look like that. Alright, so now I took a quick little break. I moved the camera man back a little bit so you can see what's going on the second screen. By the way, if you're new and you've been wondering what's been going on, all you really have to do is look at the right side of the screen, which I call the second screen. And you can see where we are right now with the progress of the pixel art, because in the later parts it might be a little difficult on knowing where we are, or maybe you're just curious to see how much progress we've done so far. So that's what the reason for the second screen is, right over there. So now we're going to start from the right block of these 3 black walls. So starting from this block here, what we're going to be doing next is actually going to be an area where I'm going to have to explain on the terms just for a little bit. Not going to be a lot. Alright, so from here we're going to be placing 8 sets of 2s going across on the upper level to the right. That's 8 sets of 2s. Now again, if you're 100% new, don't do anything yet. Let me place it first and then I'll explain. So if you're not, just go ahead and place it if you're not new. So that's 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 7, and 1, 2, 8. That's 8 sets of 2s. So I'll fly back a bit. And you can see that everything should look exactly like this so far. Now, if you're new and you're confused on what 8 sets of 2s is, the terms I use, you do not have to memorize the numbers. The numbers are not the thing that you have to memorize. What you need to memorize is the positioning of the numbers and the definition of it. So, for instance, right here, all I said was place 8 sets of 2s. In other words, the first number that you hear me say when I'm using the terms is the amount of groups they're going to be in the line that we're going to be placing in. The second number that you hear is going to be how many numbers are in that group. In other words, how many blocks are in that group. So the first number is the amount of groups. The second number you hear is how many blocks in each group. So in other words, I told you to place 8 sets of 2s. If we count these 2s, that's one group. In other words, that's one set. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see that there's 8 2s. So that's what 8 sets of 2s means. Now, don't get confused by the numbers. Like I said, they're always going to be changing. The numbers are going to be changing. What you need to remember and memorize for all of this, just the terms and what they mean, the definition is the first number is always going to be how many groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a total of 8 groups. The first group is always the number of groups. The second group, or not the second group, but the second number that you hear is going to be how many blocks in each group. So there's 8 groups, and you can see we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. In each group, there was 2 blocks. So again, final time I'm going to be explaining it. First number you hear is how many groups. Second number you hear is how many blocks in each group. It's very simple and easy. Alright, so now that we've got that out of the way, what we're going to be doing next is heading back to, let's say, the right block of these 2 black walls. So starting from here, we're going to be placing 5 blocks going diagonal down to the right. So 5 diagonal down to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very simple and easy. Shouldn't be too hard at all to follow. And like I mentioned before, make sure to pause the video if you need to. So now, what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be placing 2 sets of 2s going down on the right. So 2 sets of 2s. That's 1, 2, 1, and that's 1, 2, 2. And just to give you a heads up, if you're wondering why I'm counting a number twice, or if it sounds like I'm counting twice, that's how I do whenever I do my sets. I count how many blocks I'm placing, and then after I'm done placing the first set, I say the number set. In other words, here we had 2 sets of 2s, so from here I said 1, 2, and this is the first number, so I say 1. So it would be 1, 2, that's 1. Working on the second one, I say 1, 2, and that's 2, because it's the second set. That's easy way to keep track. Okay, so now that we've done that, what we're going to be doing next is placing 3 blocks going down on the right. That's 1, 2, 3. Next, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going down on the right. That's 1, 2. So it should look like that. Next, what we're going to be doing is starting underneath these 2 black walls that we just placed. So starting from there, directly underneath it, all we're going to be doing is adding 3 blocks going to the left. Starting underneath these 2 black walls here. So underneath it, add 3 to the left. That's 1, 2, and 3. So it should look exactly like this. Now we have this backwards L shape. Now once you've done that, we're going to start from the left block of these 3. So starting from this block, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. That's 1, 2. Next, we're going to be placing 3 blocks. 3 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. That's 1, 2, 3. And now you're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. That's 1, 2. And it should look like that. Now I'm going to be switching over, well, we're going to be switching over to the oak planks, and, oops, didn't want that many. I don't like having numbers in the block next to the blocks. So in other words, I press A instead of a Y on the Xbox because I don't want any of the numbers. So we're going to be switching over to the oak planks, the spruce planks, the jungle planks, and the birch planks. Go ahead and switch over to the 4 planks, all 4 of these. And I'll go ahead and instruct you on a new term if you're 100% new. So, this is going to be what is called tracing the outline. Again, for people who have been subscribed to me, they already know what all of this is. I just do this for every newbie that watches my tutorials for the very first time. So, we're going to switch over to the oak planks. We're going to head back up here, going back to the 3 black walls we added going across to the left that started underneath these 2 black walls here. In other words, the L shape. So, going back to this backwards L shape. We're going to start from the top block, on top of the middle block of the 3 black walls. So essentially it's right there. With the oak planks, all we're going to be doing is just tracing the outline going down to the left. And what I want you to do before you do that, for the people that already know what's going on, let's head back down here first. We're going to start on the left side of these 2 black walls. We're going to be adding 2 oak planks going across to the left. So that's 1, 2. So that's our stopping point. We're not going to be going any further than that. Okay, so now let's head back up here, where I said we're going to start on top of the middle block of the 3 black walls. So starting from there, all we're going to be doing is just tracing the outline of the black wall. So just trace the outline of the black wall with the oak planks going down to the left. So you can see if there's 2, you place 2. If there's 3, you place 3. Very simple and easy. That's the term tracing the outline, and usually, which I did kind of forget here, that's why I fixed it. We have a starting point and we have an end point. Right here, I had you place 2 blocks going across, so you know where exactly we were going to stop before that, which is right here on top of these 2 block walls. Very simple and easy, just tracing the outline. So it should look like that. Alright, so now we're going to be switching over to the jungle planks. Now with the jungle planks, we're going to head back up here, back to where we started, heading to these 2 oak planks, starting on top of the right block of the 2. So from there, we're going to be placing 1 jungle plank. Let's put 1 jungle plank there. Now once you've done that, you're going to head back down here, going back to the last 2